All right, guys, I'm so excited because if you haven't heard, we have this new product coming out. It's called Bia, and it is going to be kind of like, I guess what Tyler keeps saying is it's an energy drink, but it's like a Red Bull with like a bai, the coconut water bai drinks like mixed together. But here's kind of like how I'm looking at it and how I think it'd be awesome to brand. And I'm going to give you guys a few little things about the drink. If you go to YouTube right now, there's a new video on there right now. I just watched it before I got on here, all about the drink from Jillian Barkium, but it has 1 gram of sugar, it has 10 calories, and it has 20 fruits and vegetables. It's the first drink on market that's using raw nutrients. That is huge. Raw nutrients meaning like instead of saying citric acid, it's actually vitamin C from oranges. It's got vitamin D from mushrooms. It's got algae, and like it's leading the way in energy drinks. Now here's the way that I'm looking at it, because I've talked to a few people who are saying I don't drink energy drinks. I don't actually know people who are. Here's a few things that I thought of today. I know a lot of people who buy refreshers from Starbucks. And I don't actually know if those have carbonation in them, but I'm assuming, I don't know if they do. They're a tea, but if you guys look at the ingredients, it's 120 calories for one. This one has 10 calories, and they have 20 up to 20 or 34 grams of sugar, these refreshers. So, and they're probably like $5, $6, I don't know how much they are. Maybe look that up. But so like correlating it to kind of something like that. And then another fun thing that Christina and I were talking about, you know, White Claws are really in and the Trulies are really in. So if you add vodka or something to this at a party, it may be something really fun to just bring in. But you've got that raw nutrients. You're going to feel amazing. The balanced energy, it actually helps fight stress. It's going to keep you focused and awake and alert. So they're really, I'm so excited about it. And I know that Allison has some things to say about it too. And yeah, we're just leading the way. I'm just so excited. And they donate 5%. It says it in the YouTube on video, or the video on YouTube, they donate 5% to the ISA Foundation and they help feed kids. So that's just really exciting. Just anything that can donate in any way is awesome. And the flavor is berry Bellini. So that's just really cute and fun, and I feel like it would be really fun at a brunch. You could have those at a brunch, and yeah. So aside from any of that, yes, someone post the link in one of the groups. That'd be awesome. It was uploaded 3 days ago, and it launches this Thursday. So that's really exciting. And with no further ado, I'm going to introduce my friend Allison Matthies. You guys, we've known each other for 6 years. I think we've actually known her as long as she's been in Isogenics. I've known her. And I'm just so lucky to have her in my life. We've been chatting a bunch these last few months just about her story, how she built just this industry. It's really like, for me, I don't come from corporate America, and I didn't actually enroll a ton of people from corporate America. We have a lot of just moms. And so I'm excited because Allison came from corporate America at Target. So she has a totally different view of network marketing in the corporate sense. So I'm excited for you guys to learn from that. And she's enrolled a lot of people from corporate America. So Allison, welcome. Join us.
Hello. Thank you, Meredith. How's everyone doing?
Yes, I'm so excited for you to share your story with them tonight, because you have 3 little girls now at home and you wanted to be home with them full time. So share with us just why and what made you say, what the heck is this? I need to do it, and just get into your story for us.
Totally. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really am excited. And yeah, Bia, I'm super excited about. So I heard it's coming Thursday because they want to make sure they have enough in stock, so they're not out of stock. So they're waiting for like an additional shipment. And there's a video with Dr. Plant. I have not seen the one that you're talking about. It's actually on YouTube.
Okay, the one on YouTube, like I literally just went on it really quick to see if I had any more information from the video from Dr. Plant, because I did watch that with Christina today. And Christina, I think, was that in Max Out Biz? Yeah.
The one
The one from Dr. Plant. But the YouTube one is I just went to Isogenics, and it's like the first one right near all the Amped products. Don't click. It's not like when you click videos, it like is not there. So just type in Isagenix, click the Isagenix guy, and then it's right there. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and we're doing a sip and sample at my house next Tuesday, and I'm like, literally, I'm like, okay, this better be here on Thursday because I need to order some and have it here in little like fun little cups for people to try. Even at night, like they can try this much, you know? So I am so excited about Isagenix, and I truly have not been, like, this is the most excited I've been, and I'm not kidding you. Like, I am the most excited about Isagenix right now. But let me take you back. So I did start Isagenix 6 years ago. Within the past month, was my 6-year Isaversary. And before Isagenix, I was, like Meredith said, I was in corporate life. I literally, oh, thank you, Tasha. Thank you. I'll just take it from there. I literally spent my 20s climbing the corporate ladder, and I went to college to, do things by the book. I had a degree in international business and Spanish. I got my job out of college working for Target Corporation, like downtown Minneapolis, like headquarters, skyscrapers. I mean, that's like coming out of college, like a sexy gig in a way, working for Target, right? And you can imagine whenever you tell people, oh yeah, I work for Target, they're like, oh my gosh, I love Target. Like you get that response. And so I spent my 20s climbing. I also got my MBA, my master's in business, and with an emphasis in strategic leadership. So have always been passionate about leadership. But honestly, when I had my first daughter is when I first really was honest with myself that I was less and less fulfilled and less excited and less motivated about the career trajectory that I was on, even though I could have stayed on that path forever. Like I probably could have worked for Target forever or other big companies in the Twin Cities, General Mills, 3M, Cargill, whatever. I was a businesswoman. But when I was on leave with my baby, I was literally like, what the heck? Like I'm experiencing life outside of this corporate rat race, this hamster wheel that people are on for the first time. And I was like, there is so much more to life than this. And Allison, if you're really going to get honest with yourself, like you don't want that path anymore. And so that I bring that up because it's timing for people. It's timing. And then I also to encourage you to realize that from the outside looking in, it looks like I had it all together. Like Amanda Svensson, who enrolled me, said she probably never would have reached out to me, right? Because I looked like, why would I need something from her, right? Like, why would I care about Isagenix? I was already thin. I just naturally, I had a big career. So don't discount those people. And that's why I never discount those people. Any city I drive through, Minneapolis, St. Paul, I can look at the skyscrapers, San Diego, LA. I look at the skyscrapers and I picture the thousands of people in those buildings, knowing that lots of them actually don't like what they do. There's a reason that it's called like hump day and happy hour and the Sunday night blues, right? And so I literally, you guys, Amanda Svensson spent 2 years posting about products. 2 years, and I would scroll past it, before and after pictures, whatever. And, I was like, cool, good for her. Kind of weird, but good for her. She then started posting about, helping moms earn 6 figures from home. And she started posting, I'm looking for dreamers and linking arms with passionate people who want to be passionate about their life. And those were the things that spoke to me. Those were the things. And my husband, Jake, bless his heart, I would show him the post and he's like, why don't you just go meet with her? Like, go meet with her and have you reached out to Amanda yet? Like, you're miserable. Fast forward, I was pregnant with my second, so I had gone back to work. Pregnant with my second daughter. My husband and I were working opposite schedules. He was getting his master's in school counseling. We were ships passing in the night, and I remember thinking, like, we have worked this hard for what? To be this unhappy, like meeting at the restaurant, and he would like give me our 1-year-old so I could go single parent her at night, and he would be with her during the day. And I was like, this is not what I want my next 20, 30 years to look like. And so I sat down with Amanda, literally with a list of questions, and asked her all, what does it cost? What are you doing? How are you making money? I had seen she had hit 3-star, never reached out, never liked or commented on any of her posts. I had Googled 3-star Isagenix and seen the income range and thought, like, what the heck is this even possible? So my point is, like, you don't even have to be like so blatant. People out there are like, they're like hurting. And they're like looking for something. And if I could have started back when she first started, I'm like, gosh, I could have been so much further along. So it's also not discounting or making it about you, right? Who knows if I would have said yes at that point. But that weekend, I We met on a Friday. She, in that meeting, set up a call for me with Julie Coughlin, a 3-way call for the next day. You know, she was like, you two remind me of each other, because Amanda was a stay-at-home mom. You know, she's like, I can connect you with another corporate woman on my team who is doing this. And so, I mean, that power of that, I said, sure, yeah, I would love to talk to her. We get on the call, and you know, it was textbook. I mean, Julie got off the phone and I enrolled right there. You guys, I was pregnant, and I was like, what am I going to start on? I literally ordered a shake and cleanse pack. And I share that because it's like, sometimes we get down on ourselves for like what we enroll people on, right? But like, I'm literally Amanda's like top income earner at this point. Like, it does not matter. My top income earner, Barbie Erickson, started with 1 canister of shakes, 27 BV. Like, it's okay, right? It's okay. And to me, it's like, so I said yes to the business and the products at the same time. I did order my husband a pace setter pack so that he could put it to the test and lose the weight. But I also hopped on a plane 3 weeks later to go to Isogenics University by myself. Amanda could not go. You know, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. How do I get trained? Like, I'm corporate. I'm like, how do I get trained? She's like, well, there's an event out in Phoenix. I'm like, okay. Pregnant, hop on a plane. She's like, I have another team member going. I room with a complete stranger. And I literally sat in that room, you guys, and literally just soaked it up all weekend, took notes. And I was like, I think I can do this. Susan Sly, Lynn Hagedorn, Ellen Bradley, Zach and Eden were like a success story, like up and coming. Like, it was powerful. Cindy Hedges, I met Betsy Frame that weekend. Like, these are like the legends who have done the business and gone before us. And I was like, if they can do it, like, literally, I think I can too. And a lot of times the limits that we have are just limits we put in our heads, right? So I came home and I got to work for 1.5 years. I was like, okay, like, I'm like game on. Like, I was making 6 figures at Target. I was like, want to make 6 figures. So, I mean, I wasn't an overnight success. It took me 9 months to get to executive, almost a year to hit 1 star. And then because I took all those like step after step after step, it compounded. And then I went from 1 star to 4 star within about 6 months. So, you know, I mean, it was like December to June. I went to 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was right around the time I left Target. So, because I was grabbing people for the business. Because I was hurting, I also know that other people are hurting. And I know that our financial opportunity is the thing that can free people, right? Like, our products are amazing. But I feel so passionate about telling people about the business. And if they don't want the business, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, I still have this like premium wellness store you can order from. Like, come check it out. Like, maybe you would love some premium wellness. And that's literally what I've been shifting to lately. And I'm getting a lot of good response from it, because think of like going to Whole Foods. This is what I say to people. I'm like, imagine going to Whole Foods, or not having to go to Whole Foods, or what? Do you guys have Whole Foods? Yes. Okay. And not having to look at the shelf and decide which energy drink is the best one for me, or which vitamins are going to be the best for me, or which protein shake is the best. Like, imagine just having a brand you can trust that you know you're getting delivered the best product possible, right? And so, I mean, fast forward, we have had a lot of fun. We, hit almost 6 figures that second year. Close, not quite. But ever since then have like grown. And no, I haven't rank advanced. I mean, we've been 4-star for a while, but that's a big jump, right? 60 to 100. Like, we've still grown our income a little bit consistently every year. And I have taken a look at, a $10,000 raise. Well, at Target, a 2% raise would have been less than that, 3% raise. Like, it's all relative. And I think sometimes it's easy to come in and be like, okay, 700,000 max out. Like, for sure, I want to do that. But like, give yourself grace along the way too. And we have to be celebrating those little wins. So, I mean, that's a little of my story. I will say one thing Meredith mentioned me talking about is just like, there's a lot of noise right now, and there's a lot going on in the industry, right? It's like, what's up with Isogenics? Like, across the board, there's just so much. Meredith herself is on this social media detox, and, the game of social media is changing. Like, just because it's something that's going to evolve, but that is literally just a tool, right? I mean, I think about Susan Sly back in the day said, at that training, she said, I would literally sit on my couch and like call numbers through the white pages. Or like, there was a time when direct mail was really big, like sending mailers and it would work, right? Or email. So it just evolves. But the principles of this business do not change. And the time, you know, we recently had Eric Hoover on we had an executive retreat for our execs, and Eric Hoover was on a call for us. And he talked about the cycles of business. And coming from Target, that makes sense to me, because when I left Target, they actually ended up laying me off. So I had set my quit date, and then they laid me off like 2 months before. It was like literally the universe was like, go forth and prosper. And Target was having very hard times. I was like, is Target going to make it through this? Like, Amazon's taking over. And that was about 5 years ago now. It'll be 5 years this January. And they have, guess what, come completely out of it. Target's stock price has never been as high as it is right now because of the cycles of business. And Eric Hoover just told our team that, you know, he's like, and it just makes sense to me. I'm like, oh yeah, the cycles of business, like every 5 to 7 years or 9 or 11, I'm not going to like predict, but he said in 2009, we went through a very hard time and we came out of it with the biggest rockin', most exciting time ever. And it was the people that were doubling down in 2009 that saw the most fruits of the labor of growing, you know, because they're like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And I know that we, you know, and I know that we have like has anyone seen the Fab video that the Fab just put out? It's like 23 minutes. Okay. It's 23 minutes. It just came out yesterday. The field advisory board just met this week. And this video is for sure a teaser of like huge things to come at New Year's kickoff. And the importance of getting people in those seats. And I'm just like, gosh, we are on the like press, and BIA. I mean, watching the Amped line, followed by now BIA, followed by the other products we know are coming this fall. Do you guys know about them? I don't even ask Meredith, right? Like, well, bone broth for sure, CBD oil, the packaging. Literally, I showed a friend of mine who's a recruiter for Amazon, who I've been trying to get on my like dream team. I showed her the packaging for bone broth. I can't get her to sit and listen at an event, but she looks at the packaging and she's like, oh my gosh, this looks so clean and pure and down to earth. And wow, when's your next local event? Will you invite me? Like, whatever it takes, right, to get these people to listen. So I don't know, that's a little long-winded, but where do you want me to go from there, Meredith? Or do people have questions?
I love all of it. Let's kind of go with, you know, well, you could say, I'm just trying to think if I want to say like how long did it take Barbie to like say yes, because she's totally like one of your rock stars right now. But maybe just share like how your team, you said you had 9 launch parties last week. So you guys definitely in Minneapolis, like that area, especially because, you know, you and I were talking about Emily Vavra, like kind of like had the set the stage. You guys kind of just took over. You do Super Saturdays. You do a lot of things. So tell us how community works, how you build community, how you get people to these events. What were the events like last week?
Totally. Yeah. So good. And you know what I think is cool is that every market, I mean, we get this experience of like learning from the Dicker who build a certain style. And then whatever market, does everyone here live like in San Diego or California? Okay. So, I mean, I know that there is like the Slobans. I know Laura Stevens was there. I know in Northern California, like Ellen Bradley, Rebecca Caffiero, right? Like, so you get these flavors of people who are there. And the Vavras were very big when I first started. Like her inviting video, have you watched her little like how to invite? That I've been doing that forever. And you want to know why? Because she freaking was teaching me that at Super Saturday years ago. Like the way she's like, if I could show you a way to blank, would you? I thought of you because. Like those are phrases I've been using since the beginning, only because that's what she would teach me back then, you know? And I mean, I was just a sponge. I was like, what do I got to do? Like, what do I got to do? That's another key. I was so hungry. I didn't need to be like, my heart didn't need to be pumped. And, you know, so like make sure that you're looking for and partner with people whose hearts, because pumping hearts is freaking, you know, I mean, Lori Sherman and I joke, she's like, I can't rub backs all day. I'm like, yes, you can. Like, find the people, you know, so just be thinking through, like, are your people, but yeah, we have really found, I mean, for sure, social media has played its role and it will continue to play its role. I think Instagram stories, some people have that down pat. I never really have been this, like, for me, it has broadened my story to people that I know, but like, it's the people that I know, it's the know, like, and trust factor, the influence, because we have a relationship that has been like largely how I built, you know, and my belief and my passion and my conviction when I look over at them. And I, you know, and I mean, I'll tell you Barbie's story. Like she and I met for coffee. We both worked for Target. We went to college together. We worked for Target together. Our husbands went to college, like we all kind of were friends, but we were at Target, and I knew that she didn't really love working. And she was like, what are we going to do in the summers? You know, our parents were from families of teachers, and they're all off in the summer. And, you know, I kind of just knew she was my people when it came to like corporate life. Like, do we really fit this mold? And I said to her, like, I'm doing this thing. And she was like, okay, cool. Yeah, add me to the group. So she checked it out. She literally, this is like fail, right? That she went to my website because she's like, do you have your website? I just want to look at this stuff. She ordered 1 canister of shake as a preferred customer back in the day when we were like enrolling everyone on associates, you know, and she just like ordered a box, and then she let it stock up for 4 months, and then she turned off her auto ship completely. I was like, oh, this girl, like, what is she ever going to do anything with this? You know? But we stayed in relationship. I did not make up a story about it. I, you know, knew in my heart, like, okay, well, maybe at some point. So then I just reached out for coffee again. I was like, let's just meet for coffee. Like, literally, guys, I have built this business over coffee dates, belly to belly coffee dates. Like, anytime someone is like, tell me about your system, I'm like, let's meet for coffee. Like, I know it takes a little more time, but I think it sets you up for more solid roots. And I'm all about building on stone and solid roots more than sand. And if they don't live by me, I will even say, like, let's hop on a virtual coffee date. Like, I'll send you a link, or we can FaceTime and we'll grab our coffee or wine and just like meet up like this, because I want to see their face. And I think the passion, like, I don't really do a lot of messaging back and forth with people. I really don't. So then we met for coffee, and I was like, Barbie, this is the thing that is going to free me from corporate life. And I just like Laura Stevens talks about a conviction statement. This is the thing that I truly believe is going to free me from corporate life. And I told people that all the time. A lot of them looked at me like, really? Well, Barbie was like, she'll say from stage, like, well, Allison said that. And I literally came back in because she said that. And I was going to be, I'd be damned if I'm going to be left behind. Like, if she's going to go do that, I'm not being left behind. So I'm going to go do this with her, you know? So she came back in and she's like, okay, I'll order a 30-day system. And right there, she hadn't even put the 30-day in her, you know? And I said, great, I'm going to Miami next month for Isogenics University. Want to come with me? Yes, I will. Sure. Like, you just boldly ask. Like, I don't, you know, it's just like, ask. So she gets in the seats and then she's ready to go. Right. I mean, that's kind of the Barbie story. She now has retired, you know, left. I mean, she was able to leave Target too. And she spent a little stint at Lifetime Corporate, and now she's home and she's, you know, marketing loyalty. Do not ever like discount these people who you think have like big jobs, or like, you know, I mean, they just chose that career path, but it doesn't mean that it's fulfilling to them. And it is forever trading time for money, like forever trading time for money, and wanting to poke your eyeballs out because you're going in and you're sitting there and you're, you know, sure, some people love their jobs. I truly believe it's less people than you think. I truly do. So then as far as what's working for us, I mean, we really do have a lot of events going on, and I'll answer, I know there's a question. Yeah, I'll talk through that, Tasha. But what I really think, community, and I mean, Kelly and Tyler have commented, like, we have really grown some solid community. I think in part it's because we really push the corporate events. That's another thing Emily Vaver taught me, is build so big to these events, like build to the next event. And an event could be a sip and sample at your house, but then at that sip and sample, you're talking about Super Saturday. And then at that Super Saturday, you're telling everyone in the hall, or you're doing an event after the event, like a happy hour, you're telling everyone about New Year's kickoff. You know, and you're like, oh, you're coming, right? And we just assume the yes to those events. People freaking love them. And we have product users who come. And me, you know, this past year was there's always a few people who don't go, but it was the first year that my ticket number was above 100 for celebration. And so I track that as like a metric, like the number of people I get in the seats, just like Eric Worre talks about, you know? So because we do the big events, I think people then, they want to be in community. They have so much fun. They become friends. My goal is to get them to be friends without me having to be there, you know? So then they're hosting things. They're like, oh my gosh, we should do these events. And like we hold them too, even though it's more time, but they need to see us doing them. And then that way they'll be like, oh, you know, gosh, I want to build, the Matthies are doing this. Like, I should probably do that, you know? And I'll be like, when are you going to do a sip and sample? Like, when are you going to do this or that? You know, so to me, it's like belly to belly. and you get people in a room, and I'm always like, just come check it out. Just come check it out. What's the worst that can happen? You hear about what we do and decide it's not for you, but at least then you knew you had a chance to like check it out. And like, try the samples, like just come try the samples. And I always draw out the comp plan. I'm always dreaming with them. I do some like dream questions, like imagine your ideal day type stuff. We go over like the products. Again, we're shifting to really be just like premium wellness store. What is it that you want to order to get to the 100 BV? And, you know, and people will say like, well, what, I mean, a confused mind does nothing. So I do always say like 90% of my people start on one of these 3 packs, good, better, best. Like I do that. But then, and I just kind of pause and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do one of those. Or they'll be like, well, what else can I do? Then we go here. So I kind of go back and forth between those things. But yeah, in the past week, we had 9 events. We had one going on in Rapid City. We have a team going out in South Dakota. John Raines and Taylor, the nutritionist, were out there, Malman or something. Barbie went up to Fargo and lit up her team in Fargo, North Dakota. Like, she has like 2 different teams. So she had like 3 different sip and samples and then a business builder training on Sunday. And so, I mean, it is like, we are not afraid to drive like 4 to 5 hours. I mean, a few weeks ago, Barbie and I drove there and back in one day. One day. It was like, these people wanted to start building. We went up and back from Fargo in one day. And we were like, okay, cool. And on the way, it's proximity. It's spending time together. It's hearing each other's hearts. It's talking, you know, I mean, people are meant to be in community. And literally, you guys, like the amount of time I would be spending like at a corporate job, like it's like, if not this, then what? Like, if not this, then what? And I just think about that when I'm bold with people. And, you know, I sent off 8 messages today inviting people to, we have Travis Ogden coming to Super Saturday here, and then also New Year's kickoff. I'm literally asking like a friend in Texas, you know, hey, would you want to meet me in Phoenix for New Year's kickoff? You've expressed interest in the business before. Maybe now's your time. Like, just meet me there. If you come and you check it out, it's not for you, no big deal. Like, we can just move on and be friends. Like, what are they, you know? It's not, I mean, I just think that's what it is. And I think that's where this is headed. I think with social media changing and the number of, I mean, do you guys get like spam messages? Like, will you join my team? Like, hey, I saw you came across my page and, you know, I'm wondering if you want to do my 30-day challenge. Like, a lot of it's Beachbody stuff, which bless their heart, they're just how they learn. But it's like, people need to be friends in real life and people need to build that with you. And so I think there's always going to be room. Network marketing existed long before social media. It will exist long past and have that just added bonus boost, but it's not the be all end all anymore. That's what I think. It's just not the be all end all, you know? And that's okay. And every single year there's new people. Like, I also remind my team of this. There's new people every single year turning 21, graduating college and not knowing what they want to do, popping out their first baby and changing their priorities, popping out their second or third baby and being like, I'm never going back to work, you know, moving across the country for their husband's job and not knowing what they want to do, feeling less fulfilled, maybe wanting to take an early retirement but have like a second career. Like, every stage of life, there are like life events. You want to be the one that they think of. And I think if you personally invite them to take a look, that seed was planted. So weathering that no is totally fine. Seed was planted 4 or 5 years from now, even whatever, 6 months or a decade from now. It's like, oh, well, I'll be here doing this if now's your time. That's how you're going to build longevity over time. So I don't know. Does that help?
That's really good. And you mentioned something too, when Megan Marie was doing the training for your call. So go into that about Instagram and being invited.
Totally. So who out here like watches Megan Marie on social media? Good, you guys. I'm proud of you for not, you know, because I know that at least people on our team, she's amazing. She's an amazing person in person and online. She's crushing it. And I know that can be like a comparison thing for some people. That's the only reason I ask, because we have people who are like, oh my gosh, am I as good as her? You know, but she will find people on Instagram, but they don't just ask her to enroll with them. You know, I said, okay, talk me through like Taylor Slack in Canada. Like, I know you started this. Did you have a relationship with her? She's like, no. She's like, I look for people that I want on my team. And she doesn't just look for network marketers. Like she looks for people who haven't been opened up to the world of network marketing yet. To me, those are the best ones. They like don't know, they don't have a story, and they're not like committed to their current team. So she goes and finds people, and she found Taylor Slack, and she became friends with her. And they just literally, recently I heard the phrase, it's dating in the DMs. Has anyone heard of that? It's dating in the DMs. But she basically just like built a relationship with her, and she would do Zoom, or like FaceTime. Hey, let's FaceTime, like get to know her. And after a while, she just was like, girl, I really want to tell you, Mom, about my business. I think you would crush it. You're a personal trainer. I would love to do this business with you. Like, we're friends. Can I please tell you more? And here's the thing. You know what she said? She's like, what business? What are you talking about? Like, here we think that everyone's all up in seeing our, picture. Oh, there she is at Nashville again. There she is with her team. There she is posting a rank advancement. Taylor had no idea, even though they're friends, and like Megan has really good social media. She's like, oh, I just thought it was like a thing you were doing. Like, she didn't feel invited to the party. Like, we have to invite them to the party, on that Fab video, the field advisory board, Emily Vavra said the same. Michael Klaus is like, so Emily, do people just call you up and say, I want to be on your left leg, I want to be on your right leg? She's like, no, I'm doing the follow-ups. People don't, and Michael's like, the thing that keeps me up at night is to imagine that there's someone down there in my organization who could be the next Lynn Hagedorn, Emily Vavra, and they just they don't realize they're invited, or they don't know about it. They might already be in your org, right? And if they're not in your org, they're probably for sure in your town, like probably somewhere in California. I promise you, there's like future millionaires max out. Like they just are like looking for you, but they don't know it. That's who I was before I started. I didn't know it. I was never going to reach out to her about before and after posts. Like, I just don't think I was. So the vision is like it.
It's huge. And I think that it's so critical, like, especially just after watching the Fab video and everything, like, I'm like, okay, we got to go back to the Eric Worre inviting. Like, that is the number one highest paid skill to get them to that event. And New Year's kickoff is it. And it's so crazy because, we live in Arizona. We live in San Diego. It's a quick drive. So, asking the question, and at University in Action, you're taught how to invite them with their color, and you can usually assess what their color is. Like, you don't need them to take a test, but like asking them, like the girl who invited me, my enrolling sponsor, she's like, hey, I'll get you a ticket if you get your flight in your room. I'll find a room for you to lay on a floor in, and then she said, you're going to have so much fun. You're going to learn so much about the product. You're going to meet all these people, because she knows my personality, and she knows I love being connected with people. And, oh, you're going to meet that girl that you met in the group or whatever. And I used it as a girls' trip. So I asked my best friend to meet me there. Smartest thing I ever did. Smartest thing. That's how Marquis here. That's how Tasha is here. So like the smartest thing I ever did, like asking my best friend to meet me in Arizona for Celebration 2012. So and I feel like what you just said in the beginning, 2009 was really rough for Isogenics. I never knew that. And I've never heard that. And so that's really interesting. And then to then I came in 2012. But if you see like Kelly came like 2010, 11, it's like so crazy how the timeline goes, and like who's going to be our 2020? Who's coming to that event? How are we getting people there? Are we loading up cars? Are we, driving? I drove from the Bay Area, Central Coast, down to Arizona multiple times with a car full of people. So it's just how, like, I don't know how far Fargo is from where you guys are, but you drive.
It's like 5 hours. So yeah. In a day we went 5 hours there and 5 hours back and spent the whole afternoon training with this new team. But then, really, and that is inviting is the skill. And I have really started breaking it down into 4 steps, this whole business. And so Tasha, you asked the question. So to me, the whole business is step 1, create curiosity. We create curiosity by our shaker cup and getting a transformation, the products on hand, and dropping our story left and right when people say what's new, and just getting really good at flowing it into conversation, but just curiosity. Like, you're just creating curiosity. You don't even know if their ears are open yet, but you're just dropping it. That would also, in my book, be social media. Social media is creating curiosity. It's not an actual invite, and it's not an actual like presentation, right? Like you're just creating curiosity. So it's a slice of one step. Step 2 is invite people to take a look. And that is exactly the Emily Baver video. Like, if I would you, like I thought of you because, like, come check it out. You know, I think Zach Slobin always says, like, when he was first invited into network marketing, they said, you know, would you be open to watching this video? If you're not interested in it, we will part as friends. No big deal. Like, always giving them that out, but like invite them to take a look. Jay Bennett says, like, if you can master any skill, just master inviting them to take a look. Step 3 is plug people in. So plugging people in to me is like getting them on the products, well, understanding the products, plugging them into your team infrastructure. So that's groups, that's calls, that's 3-way calls. I give everyone a 3-way call. You want to know why? Because I was started on a 3-way call with Julie Coughlin, and it became one of my best friends in the world. So, you know, like I was like, why would I not give someone else that? It's like you're gifting them a 3-way call, which could be amazing, you know? So plug people in always. And then Tasha, to your point, like this call is like, I expect that people are on the team call to hear about all, like we post it in the groups, but I feel like that can for sure be missed. But we have, you know, any sort of like marketing or messaging or stuff, like for sure, we had our team call tonight, right before this at like 9 p.m. Central. It's now 10:40. But no, it's perfect. But so when people plug in, they get all the goods. And so, I mean, if any of you have team members that are not on your Monday night call, I would message them after this and say, hey, I really missed you on the team call tonight. I really enjoy your presence. These calls are so valuable. This is what I learned this week. And I would just love to see you on next week. And then I would also text them again next Monday and just be like, hey, gorgeous, you know, here's the flyer for tonight. So-and-so is speaking, like for sure, hop on. Can't wait to see your face. Like they need this invite until they're over the line. And to me, we don't plug people in enough. Like plugging them into Super Saturday, plugging them into the events. Like you can't just post the flyer and assume. Whenever we do like a campaign where everyone individually text messages their people for the team call, we end up with like 3 times as many people on the team call. Like they feel invited. They're like, oh, I'll get on the team call. Sure. Wow, she thought of me. I tell my team all the time, like you cannot just tag people in a post. Like picture all this information on BIA, and then your name is in like a list of like 20 names that are tagged. Like it feels so impersonal. You're like, oh, she didn't really think of me. It's just check. I'm gonna do a checklist. So I'm just so much on the one-on-one, and it takes more work, but you can sit down and do it. It doesn't take that much time. You can even create little text replacements in your iPhone text. You know how to do that? General keyboard. So like, for example, like when a seasonal catalog comes out, I will write out exactly what I want to send to everyone. And then I will, you put it like at seasonal, and then that's all I have to type, at seasonal in the text, and it populates the whole thing. At, you know, like at BIA, I'll do at BIA, and I'll be like, hey girl, BIA just can't, you know, and it'll be my one for my current customers. And then also at BIA, it goes. I mean, my Zoom link, I never type my Zoom link, I type at Zoom. And then it makes it at address, my whole address populates, you know? You know how on your phone, if you type OMW, it changes it to on my way? That's one the iPhone just puts in there. So, I mean, go under general, and then keyboard, and then text replacement. So you could do that for a team call, you know? And then you just have it in your phone. I know people do that for coaching messages. I have it for app packs. So what are the main options? How would I get started? I literally, anytime I can type app packs, P-A-K-S, like I spelled like Isagenix, and then it populates like, hey, so my favorite option, the best, and it explains the value pack. And then the next, like it's all what I wrote, but I only have to write it one time. And then it's in my phone. Saves you tons of time. Little shortcuts like that so that you can still go the extra mile one-on-one with people. That's step 3, plug people in. Step 4, recognition, retention, and events. And to me, that is like community. It's all the in-person stuff. We invite everyone on our team to sip and samples. Seeing people at all this stuff, you know, like people stay for the community and the people. And I don't want me to ever be the be-all, end-all. I want the whole group to be the be-all, end-all, right? Like Amanda Svensson is my enrolling sponsor. But if I'm having a tough day, do you know who I talk to? I talk to Julie. I will go cry to Julie. Julie's the one that pulls me out of it. Amanda doesn't even have to do that. Like, that's genius, right? In part because when it's your enrolling sponsor, sometimes you feel like, oh, well, of course they want me to stay. Julie we're not financially tied at all. And she'll like pull me out of it, you know? So it's that's when you're thinking about building your 2 teams, like really, and we all have 2 teams that we build, right? Like I never had like a blown out leg, you know, sure. Some people drop there, but you know, I'm just like 2 teams, total ownership, like head down and go. So yes, what it does, so under settings, go to general and then click on keyboard. And there's a section called text replacement. And I've created all of these. So you hit the plus, can you see that? Kind of. You hit the plus sign in the corner and then you create them. So like under auto ship, my shortcut is @AutoShip. It could be anything. You can even type the word AutoShip, but then anytime you type the word AutoShip, I add the @ so that it's like specific. And then the phrase is, you know, no monthly minute. It's like it's like no monthly minimum. I set you up on lifestyle rewards, which gives you the best price. You put in your first order and we'll discuss during the first month. You can change your shipment, blah, blah, blah. You can also cancel, no strings attached. They like to have a rewards program for people who treat it like so I never have to explain AutoShip. When someone's like, what's AutoShip? What does that mean? Why am I on it? @AutoShip brings up my answer because we're answering the same like 20 questions all the time, right? How much does it cost? Yeah, so exactly. So your shortcut should be the @ the one below that. And then the phrase you type out as long as you want. Perfect.
Dude, that's freaking genius. Have you done the easy texting yet?
No, because doesn't it not come from your phone number?
Well, it doesn't come from your phone number, but like at the bottom you can write your phone number. But what's nice, Christina and I have like both noticed that people will respond to that and not to like your text message, because like that's business, this is friend, and so they like it's almost like separate and you feel like good about it.
Oh, that's cool. No, I should probably try it. I mean, I didn't even think of it that way.
Well, you can just like literally send out 100 text messages with a click of a button, and it's so great.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I literally should take a look at it. Like, I guess the reason I didn't is because I get some texts for Young Living and I literally delete them every time, but in part because I'm not interested. Like from some people that, you know, I was in their group and they got my number and then they just like, and I'm just like, it feels weird that it's coming from like the random 5-digit number, you know?
Yeah. Well, I just feel like we're used to it now. I've never gotten it from a network marketer, so I can't say that, but I feel like we're used to it now with like other stores. Like I get so many weird, like, oh, that's strange.
Yeah, I know.
So weird. Something that you said earlier was that Eric Coover, I don't know if you said this. I know you said, well, anyways, you said that this is the most exciting time he's ever had in Isogenics ever.
Yes.
So do you want to like reiterate that and then kind of tell us what he's maybe seen with like Hillary Courtney and Lynn Hagedorn?
Totally. Okay. So he, and he said, I literally have never seen my parents this excited. I have never seen the corporate and the field so aligned. I have never seen everyone at corporate more aligned. I mean, he's like Dr. Plant and Lori Berger are like a godsend to our company. Like they are what's going to take us past $1 billion. I mean, now they're talking like 5 billion, 7 billion, I think a year is what I'm hearing, right? Has anyone else heard those numbers? And so he's like, Dr. Plant literally gets bored. So he is so all about like product innovation because he gets bored. And like Lori apparently can't keep up with Lori's marketing budget can't keep up with like what Dr. Plant has going on in his head. Like he's just this, I mean, you guys, he just started and like, look at what is happening. And what I love about it, what excites me is that I have so much more to talk about with people that maybe the conversation went stale. Because like not everyone honestly is going to want to do a cleanse or shake days and cleanse days or a detox or so if they're not into that, you know, I chew my food. Like I kind of was sure I could bring up the performance line and like I have with certain people, but it's like, where do I go from here? I finally feel like I have a place to go from here, you know, with everyone. And to just really be like, imagine this premium wellness store with a brand you could trust. And that's the other thing. I honestly think that Lori's role in marketing is bigger and more like badass than we ever thought. Like he said, honestly, so at Harvard, I was asking him, I was like, so was a lot of your marketing stuff? Cause he came out with 3 initiatives: product innovation, which I kind of talked about, just having new products to talk about, and like you guys, the energy drink is the second biggest market at a health food store next to protein shakes. So we're capturing it with this new thing that's never been around with these raw, materials, like amazing. So product innovation, technology, he's like, we just need people to get our products like easier. It's true. Like when I have people go through auto ship, it can be kind of embarrassing because they're like, how do I do this? I don't know. Like, where do I add ISO delivery? Like, I'm like, well, you have to check out separately with ISO delivery. Like, what? So, and then the third, he's like, is marketing. And he said when he was at Harvard, because he just finished his MBA at Harvard, you had to bring in a case study. And he's like, literally, the other people on your team don't, like, they have no tie to your company. But he's like, of course I brought in Isogenics. And he's like, literally, the messages I was getting about the look and the feel and the vibe, these are just sitting here, of these products is that it's pharmaceutical feeling, medical feeling, sterile, And he's like, so literally the essence of what Isogenics has always been is finally going to be reflected in our packaging and our materials and our brand, our, words that we're using. I mean, that's the bone broth. It's like this organic looking like brown bag. Even the organic greens, I think it's like brownish, So he's like, it's supposed to feel super close to nature and super close to plants. And so I just feel like, just the direction with those 3 things alone, and knowing that Dr. Plant and Lori could go work wherever. I mean, Lori came from Young Living. Like, she had a good job. She wouldn't have jumped ship if she didn't think, I feel like Young Living is a stable company. Like, she wouldn't have jumped ship if she thought like things were bad in Isogenics or like even shaky. Like, I think she came here because she was like, wow, I really have something here that I could like really upgrade and like do a lot with, So
didn't we get someone from Rodan and Fields, or was that the person?
Oh, that's the technology. The chief information officer is from Rodan and Fields, which honestly, Rodan's website is like a little bit easier to use. So, and they send an email 5 days before auto ship. Hey, just a reminder, so it's like, gosh, I would love if they add that in. So the Fab also solidified the same messaging. Celebration was like the best celebration. Who felt like it was like just this totally different feel? And he said that had Lori's fingerprint all over it. You wouldn't even know, but like events rolls up to marketing, And so this like story of what they're doing out there for us and like the messaging, like, and now New Year's kickoff is supposedly going to be like beyond with like a shake station over lunch, and like we're going to have things, and they're like, I can't wait for them to walk in the room and see it. It's just like, those are the things that I think show that like the flag is in the ground, and they're just like, this stuff is not cheap. Like, they're investing in these new people. They're investing in new technology, like new products. I'm sure it's not cheap to like innovate these new products, but it's because they are betting on the fact that we're going to win. Right. So
amazing.
I feel like there was one other thing related to Eric or something else.
Eric. Oh, you said, yeah. So you were just saying like how Hillary Courtney, her income increases $100,000 a year still.
Yeah. Yep. And he said there are people out there. He's like, it's the basics. And he's like, Hillary Courtney always jokes that like, when people say we go back to the basics, she's like, I've never had to go back to the basics because all I've ever done is the basics. Like what I just, just like, and he said, she never like flew completely off the charts. It was just like 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100, which of course sounds like freaking amazing, right? I'm like, yeah, okay, mine's more like 10,000, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's one foot in front of the other and trusting the process, and that if you build it, they will come. And like, if you build it and put a stake in the ground, that they will come. Jay Bennett.
Jay Bennett. But you also said, well, something that all of these people who are growing are not social media gurus at all. Like,
totally.
Far from it.
And he said, like, you certainly don't need that. You look at like Herb Cepeda, Jay Bennett, Hillary Courtney. they're not like influencers on social media. And he did say, like, if you are going to use social media, just find a way to blend it. You know, like Emily Vavra is so good at putting herself out there, but it's because she's being herself and she's being her boldest version and adding value. Like, who are the people that you want to follow on social media? They're the people that you get something from. You go there and you're like, oh, I needed that today, right? They're not like trying to take from you. They're like giving you their heart and soul in their messaging. You know, Gary V, you just sent me. I freaking have to watch everything of his because I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I need my little dose of Gary V every day. It's like, how can you go be that person to provide to your community? And then that builds that's the know, like, and trust factor too. And then it's blending with all the, you know, the parties, the events, the in-person, the community, the asking, the belly button, all of we've talked about, the coffee dates, all that. The three-way calls.
You did say something though that I just want to say lastly is that you like network, like joining this, you were never like, I'm gonna make 100,000 in the year. Like you were like, this is the long game forever because I'm free to be with my kids. So like explain kind of your mindset, like corporate mindset with network marketing versus like employee maybe.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, for me, I remember saying, and this is kind of Gary V, like, I don't know if any of you follow him, but I remember telling Jake, if I could just make 20,000 a year, I mean, mind you, I was making 100,000, but if I could make 20,000, like we could live lighter and I could like get time back with my kids because that mattered more to me. Like I was watching them hit their birthdays. If I could make 20,000, I could get time back with my kids, you know, and that was my first goal. Very quickly, I upped it. I made 25,000 the first year. And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I upped it even before that once I saw the vision at ICU or whatever. But for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot more of a compound effect. I mean, Target, it's like you start here, which is a better pay than 1 to 2 cycles a week, 0 cycles, you know, and then but it kind of just like linearly goes up. Whereas this, it like builds and then all of a sudden it's like spikes and it'll go up, you know. I mean, that second year I made 96,000, 25 to 96. And it's like, gosh, you know, like that. And then, you know, growing it a little bit every year, but it's like the long game is literally what wins. And Eric said that too. He said, Jim Coover, he's like, my dad always says long money is better than fast money. Long money is the cycles, fast money is the PIBs, right? And like, I've never built for PIBs. Literally, clearly, I start people on crap. No, I mean, the premium pack is like a very common place for us to start people just because they get a great result and it's such a good value for them. I'd go for the value pack, but a lot of times people are scared away by that extra price and that's fine, you know? And I think people build up. I think the long game with your customers, Barbie's a good example. She wasn't going to shop with $600. She's going to shop with $39.99 plus a $29 preferred customer fee, which she did, you know, and then, but now she probably orders $200-300 a month, BV a month, like, you know, between her family. And so I just think it's recognizing like, okay, like we have something amazing here. My goal is to connect people in. You're going to fumble through it with certain people. My first 10 orders were probably like shaking cleanse packs. You want to know why? Because that's what I freaking started on. And I would give people the $29 enrollment fee back sometimes and make a $10 PIP. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I was like, okay, I just need to get the products in their body. Like Susan Sly said, get the products in their body. Okay, here's your $29 back in a check form. And they would order, you know, like, but it is all worth it. Like you add it up, you know, my first year I made $25,000. I had $12,000 in expenses. It's like a $12,000, you know, profit or whatever. Where else can you do that? Like in your first year, be in a profitable environment in any entrepreneurial endeavor and then have like time freedom. Like you cannot put a price on time freedom for sure. And like to me, it's like live below your means as long as you need to so that like later on you can, you know, like I literally have plans to like, the things that drive me are like flying first class eventually everywhere and like sitting front row at the concerts that I want to go to. Like these are like the fun things and you got to have the fun things too. Like I always want to be with my kids, you know, but then it's like, what are the things that drive you that like just make you think bigger about life, you know, and traveling all over the world with them and, you know, and then helping my team do this, you know, like I have so many people right now wanting to make 6 figures. It's like, okay, well then why the heck not? And I have to show up for them just, you know, like that. And I can like put my money not even on the table anymore and just be like, okay, we're working for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. You're going to be up front at Taylor Swift. I know it.
Heck yes. I can't wait.
All her posters.
Oh, I wish. No.
Did your daughter like do your room?
Oh yeah. No. Well, I'm like obsessed with Taylor. I'm a total Swiftie. It's true. Like I had to buy her hard copy album at Target because it comes with the diary. And it came with a poster. And my 5-year-old, I like was, like taking a shower or something. And I came out and she's like, look what I hung above your bed. It's still there, you guys. Like Taylor Swift poster above my bed because my 5-year-old put it there. Like they know me. So
cute. I love it. Thank you for sharing with us tonight. You guys go give Allison, her last name's Matthies. Go to Allison Matthies Facebook, Instagram, DM her right on her wall. Thank you for all of your gift tonight and everything you shared. What?
I just said you're so welcome.
Oh, yeah. And I think that the biggest thing that I took away, honestly, is like, man, just even from today, really, it's just I'm inviting people to New Year's kickoff. Like that is where I really thrived in the beginning and I really lost that. And I need to get back to it. And three-way calls. Like three-way calls, I didn't get on a three-way call, I guess. So like I did them, but they were weird. And then, but then they got better and I just kind of lost that. So three-way calls and getting people to New Year's kickoff is like my main focus right now.
That's so good, Meredith. And I'll do a three-way call for any of you if you're like, oh, I want you to talk to my friend Allison. She was corporate too, or she wanted out of her job, or she was pregnant or nursing when she started. I mean, I was doing that for like a billion years. So any of that I can help you with, like, just let me know or reach out. I'm happy to help. And you guys are so lucky to have these calls, like, and Meredith as a leader, like, I mean, you guys, you just are. You're in such good hands. And I mean, we are all going places. Like, kudos to you for hopping on and spending time tonight because we are literally all going places. Like, there is always room for the cream and the legit to rise to the top. So,
yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. See you next Monday. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.